Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Adelina Fortnight from The Missing Link. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpie. So if you want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look at the description and you'll see a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so I'm going to do like a... Ooh, I gotta lower her down because she's got big hair. I'm going to do like a human style. Not so much like the model. Yeah. So just giving you a heads up that it's going to be more based on real human anatomy, real human features, you know? Which is going to be good. It's going to be fun. Don't worry. It's going to be awesome. But, yeah, just letting you know. The thing is, I mean, I could draw like their exact what they did. But it would look, you know, I don't know, it would look very toy, you know, very model, because that's what it is. You know, it's an actual sculpted model. And I think just because this is how I draw, and I get to do what I want to do, I think I want to do it more my style, you know, just to see what comes out. Plus, you know, that's what I like doing. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. You know, when you figure it out and you can draw them the way you want to, you can make that decision. And since I had to make the decision this time, I chose to draw it that style. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to come out good. I'm going to have her kind of with her feet back behind each other, where she's kind of standing stoic and lovely. So, yeah. So let's see. Let's get there. Let's get there. The nice thing is, there are some good pictures of the dolls, the maquettes. That's the word I'm looking for. The maquettes that they used to make this movie. Did you like the movie? I guess that's why you're here, right? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you're not here to tell me how much you didn't like it. You know, which, you know what? If you didn't, that's good for you. You do what you want to do. You know. You don't have to like something, but I'm just assuming you're here because you liked it. You know, why else would you click on this? So yeah, so I'm a big fan of what they do, and this whole movie I think was just beautiful. And I really liked at the very end too that they had like little behind the scenes, you know, showing what they did. That was really I was going to say beautiful, but really nice to show off their skills, because a lot of people put a lot of work into this, and they don't really get credit, you know. Same thing with 3D movies. You know, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into making, you know, Star Wars, Marvel movies, things like that, but it's always the directors or the actors that get all the credit. And while those people, you know, they do work hard, so do the people that get pushed to create these movies. Because they get pushed in a timeline. They get in a time crunch. They got X amount of days to get this done, you know? So it's nice to see the hard workers get appreciated. That's what I'm trying to say. And all the people behind the filming, the sculpting, and the timing of this. Oh my gosh, the timing. I mean, I'm sure they've got it figured out, but to me it's just like, oh my god, if you bump it, or, you know, how do you know it's working out right? And I know they've got computers that can kind of time-lapse, show you your time-lapse what you've been doing, but what if it doesn't look right? You know, you got to start all over. I don't know how it works. But anyway, I'm just trying to say I appreciate the hard work they put into it. Okay, so this is working out pretty good. I like where I'm going with it, is what I'm trying to say. And this is the part that's going to be a little tricky. Her hair, because A, I'm going to want to draw everything. But I think there's a rose right here. It's hard to tell because it's black. But I'm going to draw it anyway. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, all right, I think I'm good with this. Let me erase a few major lines here, and then I'm going to erase the entire thing and get just the rough shapes in there. Okay, this is pretty good. So I'm going to erase the faint lines and leave the confidence lines, because as I was sketching, I wasn't confident. You know, it's just, that's what a sketch is. You're just throwing lines out there until you can finally get it right. And then as we got closer to the way we wanted it, the lines got confident. They got thicker, they got darker, and they were where I wanted to go. I need to clean my eraser because this is starting to make it very, very dirty. Uh-oh, too much coming out now. All right, I better stop while I'm ahead before I erase too much and get going. So I'm going to switch over to the Sharpie portion now. Let's welcome all the people that skipped over to this section of the video. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's in there for the tinier detail that the fine point can't quite find. So, since you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you'll be able to watch everything I do. I do one of these every single day, and you'll be able to catch up and watch what I do and draw along with me. So I'm going to start with the Sharpie pen. And again, I'm going to just go in there with the detail. I've sketched the entire thing out and I've erased a lot of it, so I have a ghost of an image and I can build off of this. I'm drawing her in my style. It's not so much of the maquette, but more of a human shape. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm going to draw the top of the eye, the eyelid like this, just to see if I've got them level from the way I have her head positioned. And it's pretty straight, so I just got to make sure they're straight across like this, which looks good to me. So now I'm going to draw some, I want to say pupils, but the iris, right? The round part. There's the iris, like that. Now I could draw some pupils, just a little bit, because I'm working with these Sharpies and I don't want them to bleed. I'm using tools that you can find from around your house, but I also got to make sure that I am careful with what I know is going to happen, which they're going to bleed. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a cat eye. It's usually what I do for makeup on a girl, just because with a Sharpie it's easy to do. And even though she doesn't have cat eyes, that's all I have to do to give it a feminine look. See, like that, because I can't draw the underline like this because it'll start to bleed if I do. So I let the bottom of the iris show the bottom of the eye, basically. Okay, so I'm going to draw some eyebrows like this, simple eyebrows. This is an older time, so I'm not going to go crazy with the eyebrows, even though I just made cat eyes, right? So who knows what I'm doing. Okay, so for the eye, for the nose, I'm just going to do a little bit of a bridge, kind of a tiny line like that. That's all I can really do. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw a little bit of a nostril like this. Again, I don't want to go too crazy because this is so tiny. I have to be careful with the lines that I put down. So now I'm going to give her the inside of the mouth, or where the lips meet, and then we'll do the outside. So I'm just going to do something like this, give her a little bit of a smile, then we'll go ahead and do both sides. Now I'm going to do the top lip just barely, like this, bottom lip down underneath like that. There we go. I like that. That came out pretty good. So I'm going to draw the chin down here. That way I know exactly where I can build everything else off of. And then I'm going to draw her cheeks, or her jawline, I guess, up to her cheeks. And then I'm going to start to thicken this line up just a little bit. It helps hide any mistakes I have, but also when I'm coming in with this Sharpie fine point, this is so thick that I kind of want to make it look together. You know, I don't want it to stand out, because I like using a thick and thin for a nice contrast. I don't want that contrast right here. Here, I just want the actual cohesiveness. I want it to look all together. So, like I said, I'm going to add that bottom jawline just a little thicker, like that. Okay, so again, I'm going to try to hide some of my mistakes. Try to make it look like one continuous line, but if not, that's okay. It's no big deal. All right, so I'm going to draw some ears. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to draw the hairline coming in like this. And I wanted to do it like this first because I wanted to draw, I wanted that space in between it. And if I drew the ears would go right through there. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing over here. Just trying to leave a little space. And if you can't, no big deal. Don't worry about it. So now I could draw the ears behind that. Same thing over here. Draw the ear over here. Okay, and so now I'm going to draw her hairline and play with some of the hair, but not all of it. So what I'm going to do is draw something like this. I'm kind of creating my own hairline, so it's not just one straight little line across. You know what I mean? I'm getting creative with it, okay? So what I was talking about in the sketch is I think she has a rose over here, so I'm just going to kind of play around with some petals. Something like this. But the problem is I can't tell because it's in her hair and it's black. So I can't tell if that's her hair kind of whipping around and doing this, because her hair does kind of do something. Ooh, look at that. That's weird. My Sharpie did this weird kind of spray thing. So I can't tell if her hair is doing some kind of weird whip into that, or it's a rose. So I'm just going to kind of play around with some hairline techniques because I can't tell, but I'm not going to draw every hairline, you know. I'm just going to draw some just to show the design going back, you know, the whip of the hair. So something like this. And so like I said, I'm not going to draw every hairline, but I'm going to give them some. I'm going to draw some, not give him some. I'm going to give them some style is basically what I was trying to say. Okay, and I'm going to kind of look at both sides and see that this one was a little higher, so I'm going to bring that back around. So I think that's good for this tiny detail. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the big Sharpie for the rest, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how thick it was, or thick it is. But since I'm just going for the edge now, I can just basically come in here, kind of do this. You see how thick that is? That's why I was trying to get it ready so it looks the same, you know? Okay, and I can kind of do something like that. If you don't draw these exact lines, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm just doing something like this because her hair is pulled back, and that's about all I can really do, just to give it that look, you know? Okay, so now let's work our way down. So I'm going to draw her neck just a little bit because she's got a collar, and go ahead and draw the collar. And see how thick that is? That's what I'm saying. I wanted to try to match this before it got too crazy and too thick versus thin, you know? So I'm going to draw her shirt open like this, or her jacket, I guess. So I could draw the lapels like this. And I didn't touch them because I want to keep it out like that. If you go all the way through, it's okay. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Okay. Could have been a little bit more even, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. And her jacket sleeves are kind of poofy. So we're going to go ahead and draw to the shoulders like this, and we can go ahead and draw the edges like that. And then we can build off of this. But that at least gives us start-stop points, you know? So I'm going to draw her hand out, and I drew it a little long. I'm going to see if I can wrangle that in a little bit. So I'm going to draw the poofy sleeve like this, and then bring it back down, and draw her arm to the forearm. And her sleeve is not poofy on the inside, so we're just going to go ahead and draw the forearm like that. I'm sorry, the bicep into the forearm like this. Not much, just a little bit. Hey, I got a little crazy and out of hand on that one, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to close it off there and see if I can fix that hand, because like I said, I've got it way out here and it was like super long. So let's see if I can make this look better. So let's see, does she have a glove basically? So I'm just going to draw let's see if I'm gonna draw. I'm trying to draw her hand just out like this, just kind of extended is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm gonna draw her thumb like that, and I've got her hand like this. And there's the thumb, like that. And so see, I got her kind of doing one of these, you know. So I'm gonna draw her first finger like this, and then I'm gonna draw her. I got her kind of like this, and so these fingers are kind of down while this one's kind of up. Okay, so I'm gonna draw her middle finger a little bit further like that, and then the other ones are back behind. So I'm gonna do this and that. And since she has a glove, we're gonna play around with a little bit of detail, I guess, and just do something like that. Again, because she's got gloves, we can kind of play around with you know, the detail on the lines, but not go too crazy. Okay, so this one is stretched out like that. So I think that's good. We'll leave it at that. All right, so I do want to do a few little creases and folds because I like putting that in the material to show that it's a stretched material, you know, something like that. All right. Okay, so now let's work on this arm over here. So same thing, we're gonna do the little poofed out sleeve a little bit, come down to the arm, and this one's got her hand on her hip. So I'm just gonna come down here to the elbow. It's kind of raised a little bit because it's more leaned back than hanging down. So the elbow's up here. Come down to the sleeve like this. Draw the other side, and let's go ahead and add a little bit of detail like we did over there, just to add that that look. You know, I say that a lot. You know, do you know though? Okay, so there you go, just a little bit of detail, something like that. So this hand is on her hip, so all you're really gonna see are the fingers, and we're gonna draw to, here, let me do this. So I'm gonna draw her jacket down like this, and that's where her hand's gonna be on her hip. Here, let's do this other side so you see where we are. I'm gonna draw her jacket down to her waist, and it's gonna flare out for her hips. I can do her jacket over like this. It's open a little bit down at the bottom. We'll draw a seam down the middle in a second. It's gonna go up here, and before we go up, we gotta remember to draw that hand. So I have it kind of like this. It's kind of, all you can see are the fingers, okay? So I'm gonna draw the hand, this finger, and I know it looks a little weird. I'm gonna come back with the detail in a second. And then the pinky like this. All right, so now it looks strange, but hang on. So the thumb is wrapped back around, so you can't see that much of the detail. So I'm gonna draw a finger like this. Okay, so see, it's back. It's kind of angled back a little bit, so you can't see. Like, there's the back of her glove. So you're looking at that part right there, angled just a hair, just a hand. Okay, and that's all we're gonna draw as far as the detail. Okay, there we go. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. She does have some detail. Let's draw the seam of the jacket, or that's not the seam. It's where it's together, right? So it's not a seam. What is that called? And then it's got this little part like that, a little part like that. And our pockets, so let's go ahead and draw those. Something like this. It doesn't have to be exact. And this one's covered up just a little bit by that hand. All right, I love that sound. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up the jacket like that. So we've got that closed off. So now we're gonna draw our pants, and they're kind of flared out down at the bottom, and I've got one leg in front of the other. So I'm gonna draw her hip over here, out to the side of her pants, which are kind of bunged out at the bottom. And so her crotch is right here. again, bunged out to her leg. So the leg is inside there, but the way the pants are, it's kind of flared out a little bit. So I'm gonna draw the cuff, I guess, of the pants. Oops, like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of detail, just to show you the, you know, the flare, the way the pants are kind of out like that. And we'll go ahead and draw just some creases for the pants, just a little bit. And I can draw the other side. And like I said, I've got the other one back behind, so I'm going to draw this hip into the pants, which are again flared out, coming into that leg cuff like this. So does that make sense? Like one leg is behind the other. Can you see it now? I hope so. All right, here we go. So now we just got to draw her legs. And so she's got like these, what are they? Are they splats? I think that's what they're called. They're over the shoe. So we're gonna draw like her leg, which is kind of like a long sock, like this down to the ankle. And so the foot's down here, but it kind of looks like a shoe right there, huh? All right, so that puts it right there. And then I can add like a little bit of a crease in the toe, like that. And I'm gonna add some creases in her spats. That's what they are, they're spats. Okay, and so let's do our other one. The other one, like I said, is back behind, so it's gonna be hidden just a little bit like that. It's gonna come down and come out like this. There's the toe, something like that. All right, and so now I'm just gonna do the same thing, just add a few little creases from where it's being used, you know? Toe line, or yeah, toe line. So okay, so I say we take care of the rest with color. I'm very happy with that. That is Adelina Fortnight. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.